Film festivals are a lot of fun, but there's a whole other purpose that relates to the business side of movie business. I'm Peter John Ross, a filmmaker from Columbus, Ohio. Over 10 years ago, this guy started harassing me online and he never stopped fixating on me. I decided to turn it into a documentary. I've been working on Social Media Monster for the past few years. The series of events are unfolding in real time as I've filed criminal charges against the guy, a civil stalking protection order, and things are just getting crazier. These are just behind-the-scenes updates to let everybody know what's going on with the film. Right now, in the 2020s, everyone is making no-budget independent films. How do you make your film stand out, especially if you're seeking something like distribution? One of the ways you can do it is by submitting to a film festival. Now, film festivals get hundreds, if not thousands, of submissions. So if yours is picked to play, if yours is an official selection and you get the laurel leaves, right there, you've added value to your film. The reason it's an added value is a film festival or a film festival director or their staff, they chose your movie. They felt like, hey, we think our audience that pays money to see films will pay to see this. When you go for distribution, being an official selection at a film festival is basically saying, it's like, hey, somebody thought this was worth money, and they're going to consider your film more than one that hasn't done that. Now, you take it to the next step, which is if you get nominated for an award, or you become a finalist for an award, then you're standing out between the thousands of films to the tens of films to the couple films. And if you win an award for like best director, best documentary, best editing, or whatever it is, then you're taking it even a step further in terms of a value, because making a film is art. Once it's made, you're stuck with the business side if that's your goal. There's nothing wrong with being a true artist that makes films just to make them, or even as a hobby. It's like, I made this film because I just wanted to make it. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done most of my movies that way, especially short films. Short films have zero chance of making a profit in this day and age. Doing it for the sake of art, totally cool. But if you have investors, if money is involved, you have to consider the business part of it. Once we got past kind of the rough cut stage and into a really good fine cut, or what we thought at the time was final cut, we started submitting to film festivals right away. We submitted pretty much just through filmfreeway.com. We never used any of the advanced marketing features or anything like that. Given the tendency of the titular social media monster that this film is about, and his penchant for harassing anybody that does anything to do with the film, at the time the film was named Nowhere Man. It was a temp title based on the Beatles song written by John Lennon. And it was a good title, but I felt like the film takes on a much bigger social issue with social media and the culpability and the flaws and the lack of laws, that I felt like, well, if we're making it just about this person and not about the bigger issue, I think we're missing the point. And I don't even remember who it was who came up with the title Social Media Monster, but I fell in love with it when I heard it. I'm like, that's it. But then I had a different idea discussing it with the other producers. It was, I don't think we're going to publicly announce the name change. They're like, why? Why wouldn't you? I'm like, well, I think the thing we can do is we could start kind of like putting out the film festival laurels as we get in. We'll just blur out the names. But we have that extra step of security, because he could be contacting these film festivals saying, it's like, I'm going to sue you for showing Nowhere Man. And then they'd be like, okay, because they're not showing a movie called Nowhere Man. So I thought this was a way of kind of like avoiding that trap for a little while. And so we had started an all new Facebook page and didn't really announce it anywhere. We kept it really hidden. And we still continue to post things on the Nowhere Man page because we wanted him to think that was the name and have him constantly going there to look for stuff. Things were going pretty well. We started to get into a decent number of festivals, primarily really small ones. We submitted some of the bigger ones and didn't get in, but that's hardly a surprise. Basically, when you submit to film festivals, if you get into 10% of the ones you submit to, that's a pretty good ratio. The plan was working great until the end of August 2021. I had submitted to this film festival that I've attended for 21 or 22 years now, called the International Indie Gathering Film Festival in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, I've been going to this festival, whether I have a film there or not. I go every year. I volunteer to help at the festival. I know a lot of the filmmakers that come every year. We're all good friends, and it's a very amazing, unique film festival that I've loved dearly. And so I submitted to that festival, and their judging panel, which was not by the owners of the festivals that I'm friends with, it's like their judging panel gave the film Best Documentary, Best Editing, which just blew my mind. The irony of the Best Editing was I used a pseudonym because I was sick of seeing my name everywhere, so I have this pseudonym that I use that the certificate's in the pseudonym's name, that nobody knew that wasn't a real person. But at the festival, I won Best of Festival, the audience award, the big award voted by all the people that attended that year. And that was absolutely amazing. And the problem became so many people had attended the screening, so many people were at the awards, and there were so many photos from it that on social media you couldn't hide it anymore. So everybody's talking about this film, Social Media Monster. And he found out about the name change by all the social media postings with people thanking me and talking about the awards. And so he called and left this voicemail.
My name is Matthew Bird. I am the subject of the Peter John West film, Social Media Monster. I just learned that was the name of the film last night. He's hiding the name of the film. It's submitting it to film festivals, but also hiding the name of the festival so that I don't have any chance to submit any evidence or speak to anybody associated with these festivals. And so this is incredibly deceptive behavior. I don't care if he's from Brandon. So if you could give me a call, not like he says, I'm not threatening anybody. I'm not threatening lawsuits. I just am trying to reach out to somebody and get to the bottom of what just went on last night. Thank you. Bye.
That's a way more sedate reaction than I anticipated from him. So I was thinking, well, that's not too bad. That's a normal reaction of somebody who's angry of how they're portrayed. Less than 40 minutes later, when he didn't get a call back, he left this voicemail.
Hi, this is Matthew Burdick again. I believe absolutely 100% that you have participated in this atrocious act against me, and I believe that you did it willfully and knowingly. I believe that you knew this documentary was false. I believe that you knew that it was funded by police. I believe that you know absolutely 100% that Brian Myers, the councilman that appears in it, was the subject of a national blackface scandal, and that the film is attacking my organization, which is trying to help African Americans. I think it's absolutely atrocious that you would purport to be a member of the entertainment industry and you would support this racist film. So while you may believe that I don't have any credibility or reputability, and since you've decided to not act like a reasonable person and just talk to me about this, I'm going to go ahead and use my resources here in Los Angeles. I'm going to reach out to the Tellys. I'm going to reach out to the Emmy Committee. I'm going to reach out to everybody that's within the authority of the Ohio Valley filmmaking system, and I'm going to make sure that you answer for what you've done. And I believe that you should be held publicly accountable for this. If you are not going to act in a reputable or credible manner and you're going to look the other way, I think that public outcry, this man, who is an absolute 100% racist, I don't care how well you know him, I have evidence that would open your eyes. That's why you won't call me. You don't want to see facts. You don't want to see what really happened and what this man's really doing. And I assure you, at every other film festival that's featured this unvetted, biased, racist, police-funded attack against me, I'm going to make sure the world hears this story. This is absurd. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
This was like some serious Jekyll and Hyde type material. Same guy, same phone number, but sounds like two different human beings. The attitudes, the words, everything, the tone of voice. He's threatening them with retaliation. It's just surreal. And he continued to text, email, and call that festival for over a year. Now he knows the real name of the film is Social Media Monster. And the massive email campaign against all the film festivals began. He started going through all those blurred laurels and trying to figure out the names, and he figured a few of them out and then started harassing those festivals. There was this one film festival in France, the Silk Road Cannes Film Festival, not to be mistaken for the actual Cannes Film Festival. They're in the same area, but it's totally different and way smaller. He got a hold of them, told them that I was a racist and that the film was racist. There's nothing about race or racism in the film whatsoever. And they just wrote to me and said, okay, we know we just gave you an award for best documentary, but we're taking it back and it's invalidated because, we don't have time to research if this is true. And our decision is final. And it's like, wait, what? That's so wrong on so many levels. And the biggest thing is, if they'd watched the documentary, they'd have known what they were dealing with. They said, well, we have a whole panel that views the film, so we didn't even watch it and we don't care. We just don't want to deal with this guy sending us emails. And it's like, fine, take it back, whatever. I still use the laurels on everything, and I usually do the opacity at 50% because they did officially give us the award, but then they took it back. So I do the logo, but opacity at 50%. There's another festival in the UK that he started harassing, and all they told him was like, well, that sounds like a problem between you and him. Get a lawyer and deal with him. And they gave me best documentary, and then they even emailed me and said, it's like, dude, we watched your movie, and now this guy's harassing us, and screw him. We're going to keep the award, and we're just blocking him, and they moved on. Another festival initially asked me to remove the laurels, and then they're like, yeah, no, we don't care. We've got them blocked everywhere, and they just let us keep using the laurels. It's shocking, though, that this kind of cyber terrorism works at all, that people just take things at face value without doing any research, or just like, well, I'd rather not deal with it, so I'm going to cave to the terrorist demands. It's kind of shitty what that Cannes Film Festival did, the Cannes Silk Road Film Festival. You win some, you lose some. It didn't matter. We just kept submitting to film festivals, and we came up with around 6 or 7 alternate titles and posters and cut deals with film festivals like, well, we're submitting it under this name because of what he's doing, and they were all forewarned, and that worked out better, and he couldn't go to festivals with, well, it's either called this, or this. So he just stopped bothering the festivals at that point, and everybody was happier for it. We got into this New York Film and Television Festival, and they gave us best documentary at their festival. And he found on their website some obscure terms of service thing somewhere, and they had apparently cut and pasted it from the Sundance website because it's just some kind of like legalese language, and they missed one time where they didn't change their name from the Sundance Institute or whatever. He seems to think that this is some kind of, aha, they're a fake festival, they don't really exist, it's all bullshit, and they just cut and paste some legal language from the Sundance page. It's nothing. So he complained about it to Sundance, who complained about it to Film Freeway. So they went on their website and changed the words. And the festival's still running today. It's still a real festival. Nobody really cares, but he seems to think this has somehow invalidated the award that no one took away. But we still won. It's still a real festival, and they're really good people. So in the end, we've now gotten into a total of 44 film festivals as an official selection. We've won 14 awards. We were finalists in 14 festivals, and then we got a handful of finalists or nominations in a few others. And it was a fantastic film festival run. I could not be more proud of what the film did and all the people who supported it. Any chance you get as a filmmaker to sit in a dark room with a bunch of strangers and watch those flickering images, especially when they're your flickering images and sounds. I got 4 regional Emmy nominations for my work on Framelines. But as my mother so often reminds me,
a nomination is not a win.
So any level of success I've had is open to... That can't be bought. That can't be compared. That experience is the best thing I feel in my entire life. I relish and cherish those opportunities because they're so rare for an independent filmmaker to sit in an actual movie theater with an audience watching your own film.
Don't be shocked when the citizens come forward with whistleblower protection and are able to confirm what they witnessed you doing.
We're a dumbass rock band from St. Joseph, Missouri, and no one knows who we are. Why the hell would someone need whistleblower protection to talk about a show we played in a bar?
Verdict does not have a spine to...
That is magic. It's a magic. Getting the chance to share that story with an audience is pure cinema at its finest. And I am just so grateful to have had so many opportunities to share my film with people. And I don't care if there were only 1 or 2 people in the audience or when we've had over 100 people in the audience. I get the same amount of jazz out of that experience either way. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the film festivals that stood up to this bully who tried to bully and threaten them, who stood by me when they didn't have to. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate just the opportunity. Even the film festivals that all rejected the film, thank you for having just watched the movie at all and even considering it. It is an honor and a privilege to be a filmmaker, and I will never, ever take that for granted. So thank you.